Hello and welcome to today's edition of the BME Horizon Hot Topics webinar. I am Borbála Schenk, the Chief European Research Funding Advisor of the Budapest University of Technology and Economics, and I'm going to be your host today at the webinar session. A few words about the Budapest University of Technology and Economics, or BME. BME is a leading higher education research institution of engineering, natural science, and economics in Hungary, with 8 faculties, more than 20,000 students, and more than 1,200 academic staff. The key research areas of the university include ICT, artificial intelligence, sustainable energy, accumulator and battery technologies, vehicle technology, biotechnology, nanophysics, disaster prevention, and many more. This webinar is brought to you by FIEC, which is the Center for University and Industry Cooperation at BME. FIEC is responsible for organizing, coordinating, and strengthening the innovation-related activities of the university. We have a tech transfer sector, project management, startup incubation, and also the Horizon Europe pre-award support is operated by this center. We launched this webinar, the BME Horizon Hot Topics, in 2021 in November, with the aim of creating a discussion on concepts and ideas that define the new European research trends and which are reflected in the Horizon Europe Framework Program. Since the beginning, we have had 9 sessions, and we have dealt with multiple topics like open science, citizen science, creating societal impact for research, research ethics, or like new methods of co-creation, like setting up living labs. The recordings of the previous sessions are available on horizon.bme.hu/webinars. And we are live streaming the sessions on each Monday at 1 o'clock to 1:45. We would like to spark discussions about these topics. We would like to hear your opinion as well. So we embedded a Slido platform on the horizon.bm.hu/webinars page. If you are following us from there, please use the embedded Slido platform. If you are following us from YouTube, you see the Slido code there, which is 712063. So please share your comments, share your opinion, and ask questions from the guests today. Today's topic is open science, but from the Hungarian perspective. We have dealt with open science from many aspects. We have seen the experience at the Utrecht University, at Iraq Research Institute. We have seen last week the perspectives from Czechia. Today we are going to delve into the opinion and the viewpoint of the two Hungarian experts I invited for today. I would like to introduce you Judit Fazekas-Paragh. Judit is a research support librarian and currently the head of the Education and Research Support Department of the University Library of the Debrecen University. Her primary work is to deepen open science guidelines at the national level as well. And as an opener node and HUNER working group coordinator, she aids Hungarian stakeholders to connect to the open science discourse of the European Union. Her responsibilities include expanding open access publishing, introducing FAIR principles and research data management, conducting related trainings, and supporting the development of open infrastructures. Related to her dissemination activities, she regularly contributes in spreading information about open science and the cultural changes of scientific communication for the national audience by sharing updates within the framework of the Hungarian informational websites. Our second guest today is Ádám Száldobágyi. Ádám is a data steward at the University of Debrecen University and National Library. He deals with various aspects of data management. One of the most important areas he deals with is to familiarize Hungarian researchers with the various data management methods and possibilities, taking into account the national and international FAIR expectations. As an employee of an interdisciplinary university, Ádám needs to be familiar with the research and recommendations used by different fields of research, from the life sciences to the natural sciences up to the humanities. Ádám holds data management courses, lectures, workshops, and meetups. So today we are going to discuss our two guests' experience in supporting the researchers and national stakeholders with open science practices. We are going to talk about how the role of libraries has been changing due to the dynamic transition in the new European research area. So I would like to give the floor now to Judit first, and please feel free to ask questions, share your comments via Slido. Judit, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Bori. I will share my presentation. Just a second. Could you see it properly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Super. Okay. Hi, as Bori mentioned, I'm working at the University Library of Debrecen University, and I'm a research support librarian, and my main focus field is open science. And when I think of science, Frank Zappa's thoughts comes up to my mind that a mind is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it is not open. On my slide, you can see a complex research life cycle picture. Research conducted for the purpose of contributing towards science by the systematic collection, interpretation, and evaluation of data in a planned manner is called scientific research. In other words, scientific research has in strict public nature. As the French psychologist Claude Bernard once said, "Art is I, science is we." Research is a complex process. At this research lifecycle model, which was created by the University of Central Florida Library, illustrates well the steps of research of the research life cycle. It has 4 major steps: the planning cycle. As a research support librarian, we are able to collaborate to plan, outline, and organize your research at this phase. In the project cycle, we can help you support your data analysis, to help you find the right tools, to update your DMPs regularly, and other kind of topics, where to put your raw data, and so on. At the publication cycle, we can support our researchers in choosing the right journal platform to publish with the right licensing, and we can even help in presenting their findings to the general public. At the 21st century digital scholarship cycle, which is, I usually rather call it sustainability cycle, where we preserve our research output. And in this sense, the libraries take a lead role here, because they nowadays most libraries took care of institutional repositories and institutional data repositories, and try to give a right form of dissemination to channel the findings of the research output of their institutional researchers to the global scholarly community. The impact on the community will be measured nowadays by citation or other scientometric tools, but I hope the evaluation form will be changed in a rather slight way. Open science aims to change the ways knowledge is both created and disseminated across the societies. As I see what is going on recently in Hungary on the phases of open science, open science is with us for the very beginning of the 21st century. In 2002, the Budapest Open Access Initiative was signed. That was 2 decades ago. From 2006, institutional repository revolution started all across the globe. In Hungary, we reacted promptly and started to set up repositories at the university libraries to help each other's work. We have established the Hungarian Open Repository Working Group. I will talk about this a bit later more widely. We are actively involved in the European open science discourse from 2009 with the Open Air project, supporting the open access and open data mandates in Europe and implementing it in Hungary as well. In 2019, we have started to work to help EOSC become reality. EOSC is one of the main pillars of the Horizon Europe funding program. This is the European Open Science Cloud. And with NIFOS Europe, National Initiatives for Open Science in Europe project, we together with the governmental agency for IT development, KIFU, we are coordinating our work there for Hungary. In 2019, we have established the Hungarian Research Data Alliance, Hungarian national node for the Research Data Alliance of Europe, which was a major point because the Research Data Alliance holds a lot of disciplinary researchers, and they can properly talk to all the research communities and have already established frameworks for metadata schemas and for data depositing. In between 2020 and 2021, the institutional data repository needs people started to get aware of the needs of institutional data repositories, and at the University of Debrecen, we have established an institutional data repository, and at the LKH Research Network, they have established another one, and there are some that are forming at the moment. What was a really major point last year, at the end of last year, a Hungarian position paper on open science was launched. The position paper is the outcome of many consultation runs of several Hungarian institutions. The cooperation was led by the National Research Development and Innovation Office. After the history, what is going on, I would like to ask you the question: what is open science? Open science have several definitions, more than 100. I will use the one where open science is such a scientific practice where information generated during the research process can be used freely or openly available. Research is collaborative, transparent, and accessible. Its main purpose is to promote the continuous development of research and science. It uses digital technologies to share knowledge. Why open science is important? Open science enhances the visibility of results, enhances sustainability and innovation opportunities. In the past 2 years, we have seen the positive impact that open science can have in tackling global issues that requires collaborative and multidisciplinary solutions. However, there are gaps and challenges that have to be solved. But the cultural change in science has started due to the digital advances. As long as we maintain the old incentive system, it is very difficult to properly exploit the opportunities of the new framework. But COVID-19 pandemic showed us open science is the reality, and this is how science should work at this century. Open science, as I said, it has a lot of definition. It has a lot of terms that it has been described. Mostly people use an umbrella term for open science. I rather use this mushroom, which you can see on my slide. This mushroom was drawn by Eva Mendes, the president of the European Open Science Platform. This picture shows the real complexity of this system. Without infrastructures, research integrity, ethics, proper standards, and governance, interoperability cannot be achieved, which is one of the main components or key elements of open science. In this sense, this is a really important thing to see. And with this mushroom, it is much better. I mean, it has a more complex view on the open science issues. I'm talking about cultural change because that's what we are in due to the digital achievements in science. But the cultural change will succeed if we have all the elements, the vision, the skills, the incentives, the resources, and the action plan. If any of them are missing, the change will make us feel incomplete. When we talk about cultural change, we need to identify the stakeholders that are involved in the process. Within the EOS Skills and Training Working Group, we have found 10 personas that are engaged with EOSC. The main target audience of the European Open Science Cloud, which is not just a cloud, it's not just a infrastructure, it's a network. Researchers are the ones that benefit from EOSC, but there are other stakeholders such as citizens, policymakers, data curators, data stewards, data librarian, EOSC educators or trainers, data research innovation support professionals, research software engineers, data scientists, and the EOSC enablers. These personas are somehow connected to EOSC. Some of them are benefiting out of EOSC. Some of them are trying to help the users use the benefits that the European Open Science gives them. In Hungary, we have key actors as well. One of the main actors in the paradigm shift is the National Research Development and Innovation Office. But as I talked about, the governmental agency for IT developments take a lead role in the infrastructural developments. There are the universities and the university libraries, the Eötvös Laurent Research Network, the Hungarian Academy of Sciences are involved, other researchers and research communities, industries, SMEs, citizens, and all kinds of related organizations, such as the Hungarian Open Repositories Working Group, the Hungarian Research Data Alliance, Opener, Elixir, CESDA, and there are so many others that I didn't have. I just didn't put in. So as you can see, this change is moving forward, and we are working on to find a way. The national dialogue started on open science back in 2008 with the establishment of the HUNER working group. But this has been established by higher education institutions and the Hungarian Academy of Sciences. The aim was to develop and create open access practices for Hungary and to create a proper platform for effective dissemination for the Hungarian research output. So in this sense, we have established a network of repositories. Now 44 Hungarian repositories are listed in Open Door, which is a repository listing place where you can find repositories that you can disseminate your research outputs out of. Well, the role of HUNER members, what are the role of HUNER members? Mostly back in the old days, the role was to set up the open repository network. Nowadays, it is to support data management projects on institutional levels, to create a forum for stakeholders, researchers, IT specialists, librarians, research communities, to establish connections between professionals and researchers, to develop institutional research data management support, to organize training courses and to transfer digital skills. And one main focus is data curation support for researchers. But I'm not going to go into these details because Ádám will talk about how does this whole open science discourse looks in practice. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask, and thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Judit. Now I would like to give the floor to Ádám Száldobágyi.
Good afternoon. Yes, I share my screen. Can you see my slide?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, as it mentioned earlier, I'm working as a data steward at the University of Debrecen, University of National Library, and this is a really new role in Hungary, or I could say in the research community, but I work as a data steward from 3 years, more than 3 years now. And I wanted to present you our work and the result so far, which we've done in Hungary. So in 2020, the National Research Development and Innovation Office sent a request to us that we need to assess the Hungarian researchers' data management methods and willingness of shared research data or fair data and the open science about the topic of open science. We made a survey and sent all Hungarian higher education institution, and more than 900 researchers completed this survey, which contains a lot of questions about basic data management methods and data sharing willingness, or uses other researcher data in their research. And some of the questions are coming from the open science initiatives like FAIR data. And as the figure shows that in the blue, with blue, they said yes, these questions. So most of the discipline found or familiar with the data sharing procedures. But that's really different about disciplines. So overall, it can be stated that the question of sharing research data at the same level has already appeared in a significant part of Hungarian researcher, as you can read it. Oh, sorry, I'm go forward. Is it go? Oh, sorry. Yeah, and this is another two figure about this survey, which said that 50% of the researcher who answered this question want to share their research data and use other researcher data for their research. So this is a really good and really we are really happy when we see these results. This said that researchers want open science and want to share their data with the community. Okay, so this is another big step for us, that the National Research Development and Innovation Office issued and published the call for proposal OTCA and frontline data management plan. So the researcher need to write a data management plan when they want to have these proposal. So this is just a basic question about how they handling data, how they care about where they store these data, who will have shared with the data, and they are emphasizing the importance of the metadata, which is more or less the FAIR requirement overall. But now we just wanted to know how researchers are dealing with research data management questions. So we made 30 meetups for the topics about research data management. The presenters were librarians from the HUNER working group and from the higher education institutions. More than 400 researchers participated in these meetups. And based on the feedback, most of the researchers are satisfied with these meetups. here you can find the topics about the meetups. So we wanted to share our knowledge about the whole open science initiatives. I mean, what about the open science in Europe? What research data? What is research data? What is FAIR? How you can handle your data when you wanted to protect your data, or copyright restrictions and data management plan. These are the highlighted topics, and the participated can wrote their research data management plan. So when they send the proposal, they can write it in these workshops, and they can send it to the office. Okay, and one of the biggest challenges to us that we had a request from the Hungarian Research Data Alliance to head workshops to Eötvös-Loránd research networks. This is a really good opportunity to us, because this research network is one of the most important in Hungary. So here you can find the topics what we covered in our workshops. As you can see, now we have special attention about the data repositories and the FAIR tools. So now we just not say what is FAIR, but we wanted to help researchers how they can handle FAIR questions and how they can make their research fair. So I mentioned that highlighted the data repositories because the research network has their own data repositories. They wanted to the researcher that use the Concord, we called Concord data repositories. So we can show them how they can use it, how they can manage to upload any file, or how they can make an upload for the repository. And I can say that more than 17 researchers participated these meetups, and they are really, we have really good feedback about these. Okay, in 2021, National Research Development and Innovation Office issued a position paper about open science. This is a really big step for us because now we can see that the national level is getting higher and higher about open science. Here are how they can see the open science ecosystem. This is the main topics which they covered in this position paper. As you can see, the FAIR and the CARE research data management is playing a really key role about this position paper. I just put here in some of the most important statement about the research data management, how you can tell the research data management. So is it one of the most important things is to establish maintenance and continuous improvement of the national research data management infrastructure. And the second one is accredited training programs for data steward is a priority. So we can move forward to the open science, about the open science. And now we have a really big convenience about these topics. As you can see, a really big Hungarian organization signed this position paper. So we will see what's happened from now about that. I wanted to say some words about the University of Debrecen, which is a leading organization about open science. we care the Open Science website and the Instance Science blog, where researchers can find really useful and up-to-date information about these topics. We have the first higher education institutional data repositories, which can be used by our researcher, so they can upload their data and share with others. And I run a PhD course about research data management for our students, so now they can familiarize with these topics before they finish their PhD. But we are not alone. So many Hungarian institutions wants to join and made this initiative to reality. Here is some examples, but it's and of course we have more than these, but these are the main key points about open science organization. Okay, I wanted to thank.
Thank you very much, Ádám. So thank you, Judit, for setting the stage. And thank you very much, Ádám, for, I think maybe you should stop screen sharing, possible. Thank you very much. Okay. So, and thank you very much for just providing such concise overview about how data management is handled in Hungary, where we are now, and what are the most important activities. I'm going to share the Slido screen now. We have received many questions, but while I'm doing it, I would like to ask you to give us like an insight behind the scenes. How does this community work? This seems to be this Hungarian open science community in which you are holding leading roles, seems to be a very vibrant, dynamic community. How does it work? Do you have like regular meetings, interactions with like fellow librarian colleagues or researchers? So who is involved? How is this operated?
Actually, we are operating this channel with the Hungarian Open Repository Consortium or working group. So this is how like all universities are involved in a way. And and with this community, we have regular meetings online nowadays. Before the COVID crisis, we had it in person, of course. And we always, like at the very beginning of the year, defined which are the main goals, which direction to go to, and then we try to move forward all the time. And actually, it seems the research communities like it. So.
Thank you. Do you have, Ádám, a special section for data experts?
Not now.
Not yet.
Not yet. But we want to connect these people as well. Yeah.
Thank you. Let me start with the first question, which I actually really like. How does the Hungarian open science mushroom look like in your view?
It's a really good question. At the moment, I would say the Hungarian open science mushroom more looks like an umbrella. But we are gaining some kind of roots, and with the establishment of some sort of frameworks, it's going to be hopefully a mushroom by 2024, I would say. I mean, I'm quite optimistic.
And which would be the roots you would be for?
Actually, the award system, like to incentivize our research community, that should be changed in a way, for sure, to move forward now we have a leading role from the National Development and Innovation Office. So this is a really good opportunity, but we need to establish more frameworks for the different research communities to be able to achieve, I would say.
Thank you. I think that the second question is a kind of link to this, what nicely just follows up from what you've said. What was your experience with various stakeholders when promoting open science? What are the challenges? Of course, we could talk a lot about it. I let you choose what you find important.
I would say the most important stakeholder group is are researchers. So the challenges are that how to show them that open science is not something that they have never done. It's something that they are doing all the time, but this is with the digital achievements, something like that. And this is quite hard. Sometimes I would say. So maybe when we are calling it open science, they are afraid of the openness and the transparency. But then when they understand it, they really like it in that sense, because they find the possibilities in this way of scholarly communication.
Thank you. Ádám, a question for you. What is your advice for universities that want to establish a data steward position?
That's a hard question. Yeah, so I hope so. We will be many. So I think the institution need to find the way how the data steward can work. So this really different type of data stewards in most of the organization who have data steward now, but they need to say what they want from the data steward. So data steward can help with the IT development and help with the policies, how they reach open science or how they manage fair data. And data science need to make some trainings for researcher and so on. So we have plenty type of data steward. So the organization had to say that, yeah, I wanted to these kind of data steward.
What would actually be the professional requirements for someone who wants to be a data steward? What would be the professional background that is necessary for that?
It's fine if you have some research knowledge, but more this is the attitude how they can make these. I mean, if you have a PhD about physics, is it really good? But if you're not able about open science, you will not take your job good or do your job good.
Okay, thank you very much. So that is like a lesson for us all who do not have data stewards yet,
yeah.
but plan to have. Okay, I would like to follow with that question, which we have received quite lately. That is, what is your how satisfied you are with the Hungarian performance in the development of open science regarding the activities you are actively participating?
This is a tricky question because as open science, it has many ways. I would say it would be good to know all the stakeholders from Hungary, whom is doing what, and have and everyone should know the roles, because it would be much easier for the communication part. I would say the focal point would be here, the communication. So we are lack of communication sometimes with each other, with the open science, in the open science development discourse, so in Hungary. But in a way we are moving forward, so in one hand, it's really good. In the other hand, we need improvements.
Absolutely. Thank you. And the last question, because we are running out of time, is that another interesting one. Open science library services are basically for researchers. Do libraries have new roles for non-researchers as well? As a reference to the title of the presentation, what do you think?
Actually, open science library services are, yes, basically for researchers. But if you remember my first or my second or third slide with the complex scholarly communication life cycle, in scholarly communications, our students are involved, and actually citizens are involved. So in that sense, we have a lot of non-researchers involved in this open science dialogue. So yeah, do libraries have new roles for non-researchers as well? I would say yes. So.
Okay. Ádám, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I mean, it's the citizen science is one of the most hot topic across in Europe. So who wants to make research, but who is not a researcher, you can you can make it. So you can help a researcher, or you can make your own research.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to stop screen sharing now. As we have to wind up now, thank you very much for being here with us. And you have achieved a lot so far regarding open science and the Hungarian scene, and keep up the good work. We are going to follow that closely, and we are going to, and hope that we will have a chance to talk about the development and achievements in the near future again. So thank you very much for all your work and for being here with us. And I would like to thank the audience for their active participation and for also for being here with us. We are going to continue with a fair data management topic, not next week, but on the 11th of April. So please tune in 2 weeks. And in the meanwhile, please watch the recordings of the previous sessions, which can be found at horizon.bme.hu/webinars. Thank you for being here with us. Have a nice rest of the day. Goodbye.